Hey everyone, it's Elaine at A Handful of Daisies DIY. Thanks for stopping by today. This week we're going to be back in the workshop doing a furniture flip. I have a desk that we're going to work on today. So if you're ready, let's get started. So here's a look at the desk we're going to be working on today. It's been in my workshop for a little while, so it's pretty dirty and dusty from all the other projects. I started out by taking all of the drawers and the little door off of the cubby. And I'm using a bucket of warm water and Dawn dish soap just to get all of that dirt and any grease or furniture polish that may be on it, getting all of that off so the paint will adhere. I'm also going to take the backing off. That way I can clean behind it really well, and it'll be a little bit easier to paint that as well. And those little cubby dividers, I was able to take those out as well. So I'm going to paint those separately. And you can see one of the drawer guides was a little bit loose, so I did end up gluing that down and tacking it in really well. And you can see how dirty this desk was by my bucket of water. So I'm going to be painting this using Dixie Belle's Caviar. This is a really dark black. I'm also using my spritz bottle just to water it down a little bit because this paint is really thick. And I want it to go on as smooth as possible. So you can see I'm starting on the bottom. If you've watched any of my other furniture videos, I do tend to put my projects up on my workbench so it's easier to work on. And I always start on the bottom. It's just easier for me to make sure I'm getting a good coat on the bottom rather than being down on the floor trying to get it. The Dixie Belle paint does cover pretty well, but I do end up putting 2 coats on. The second coat was just a thin coat just to make sure that it was covering well. And it was really hot in the workshop today, so it was drying pretty quickly. And you can see I do paint with the grain of the wood, so the very bottom I was going across, and then on the other part I was just going up and down just with that grain. Once I finished up on the base, I left that to dry, and then I moved on to the cubby dividers and the drawers. And I gave these 2 coats as well. This was a pretty quick project. I was able to get this done in about a day and a half just because I wanted it to dry overnight before I put a top coat on. I'm just putting it on and then smoothing it out, trying just to go all the way across. So I put those to the side, and while those are drying, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the drawer knobs, just using some warm water and again that Dawn dish soap. It works really well just to get all the dirt and oils off. I did think about painting these knobs, but I ended up just really liking them, how they came out once they were cleaned really well. I think they're going to go really well with the black paint. So once I finished that up, I turned the desk over and I'm going to go ahead and do the top. And taking that back off and the cubby dividers made it a whole lot easier to paint. And there's just something about a black piece of furniture that I love. I think mainly because it goes with everything. So I let that dry and applied that second coat. And then once the second coat was dry, I'm using Polycrylic as my top coat, and I'm adding a little bit of the Dixie Belle paint in and mixing that up really well, just to help that polycrylic from leaving streaks. It does tend to dry a little bit smoother if you add a little paint in it. So I went over the whole desk with that. I let that dry for a couple of hours, and then I came back and added a second coat on the desk and the drawers. So now we're just ready to put everything back together. I'm starting with the drawers, adding the drawer pulls back on. Let me know what you think about these knobs. I really think they went well with the black, just leaving them the color that they were. I put the drawers in and then went ahead and put the cubby dividers back in, and then added the back on as well using my electric staple gun. And here's a look at how it turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you like this desk in black? And those knobs, I just love the knobs. So thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel and you're not yet subscribed, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and notification bell and join our DIY family. If you're already subscribed, thanks so much for supporting my channel, and I'll see you next week for another DIY.